Is there a benefit to not knowing something? I think a lot of us, we pride ourselves on knowing, learning, understanding. Oh, knowledge is bliss. We got to know all this information about everything. But one factor of why there's so much crime is because we know how to do it. We get the information from people, from culture, from experimenting somehow, and many times we get ourselves into trouble. Like people who learn how to pick up women or pick up men, and they go into all these one night stands and sexual affairs, and they pick up diseases, and leads to divorces and breakups and so much drama, and leads a lot of people going to jail, to prison. And now that there's domestic violence because they would have all the issue with all these side girls, side guys, people who know how to roll blunts and they smoke weed and they get high, but then they lose their job. They get some cancer in their body. Hard for them to maintain a job. People who know how to where is the liquor at? Where is the highest quality liquor and where to go get it? And they go out there and they do their thing, and they, drunk drivers, they're killing people every year. There's cancer, there's all sorts of domestic violence going on, mental illness, suicide. People who learn how to plant bombs and destroy people, destroy societies and buildings and all these places. They deal with the bombs and the gas and all these things. They call it bioterrorism. So they learn how to do these things, but often a lot of times, there's bad things that people do with these things. Guns. Guns are not evil in and of itself, but people know how to use guns, and a lot of people use it for the wrong reason. So this goes on. There's a whole lot of bad things that people do with knowledge. And one factor I think why people do that is because they're not mature. Just like giving the keys of a car to a child. You give it to a child, the child's gonna use it in a very haphazard way, because the child doesn't know how to. The child's not mature enough to handle that car with ability, and skill and tactfulness to properly navigate it. So premature knowledge and then handing people things that are attached to the knowledge is not always the best. There is a time and place to know things, and certain time where you should not know certain things. So I don't think all the time, knowledge is so-called bliss. There are times when it's right to keep things from certain people for a certain time. And it's very interesting. Even in the Bible, God told Adam and Eve not to touch the forbidden fruit, lest you die, and you become as gods, knowing good and evil. And a lot of us would say, why wouldn't God tell us? Why would God keep us from knowing these things? We should be learning and evolving and advancing and always learning, always growing. And yeah, I'm a lifelong learner. I'm someone that likes to keep learning and to keep growing and advancing. But from the observation, from history, it's shown over and over again that knowing something isn't always the best. There's time to know things at a certain season and time where you should not know certain things. But we as humans we on a quest to want to know. We're very curious. You've heard the phrase, curiosity killed the cat. It killed the cat. So there's a time when you can be too curious about something, which gets you into trouble. Once again, in relationships with, say, pornography. What's going on there? This website, that video. Now you get more curious. Now you want to go into picking somebody up. You watch a movie, and the movie shows a whole lot of things, and look at the guy doing what the girl doing. All these sexual stuff going on, and all these lying and manipulation, and a lot of people, they replicate that in real life as they learn it from the movies, which gets people into trouble. Many do, some don't, right? But knowledge can be very dangerous in the wrong mind. But I think, like I said before, a big factor is because we're not mature enough, spiritually ready enough to handle that information. I believe Jesus said that I have many things to tell you right now, but you cannot bear it, right? So even God knows when is the right time to reveal something. you know. And for those who, when it's Christ's return, I heard about this for a long time. You know, he'll come at the right time. He knows he know when it's the right time, right? You know, our timing is not the same as God's timing. So I trust in His timing over man's timing and what man wants. Whenever He comes, right? Amen. Until then, we have work to do to spread the gospel. All right, y'all. So that is my insights on the matter of one reason why God withheld that information, or told Adam and Eve not to eat of that and get the information, or not touch it, and consume of it, lest you die, because evidently touching leads to consuming. Touching, you know, you're touching a car a lot, in a car a lot, you know, and feeling it, and rubbing the leather seats and rubbing the tires. And often you're going to end up partaking of it, consuming money, consuming resources on getting that car. You go to the bakery, you're touching all the you know, the packaging of those donuts and cookies and cakes. Eventually the touching going to lead to consumption, which, I mean, can lead to the death of your health with all those, you know, negative all those bad nutrients going to your body and the high sugar. So, you know, touching, like I said before, with sexual immorality, you're touching, you know, you let that thing say, first of all, touch your mind. All the images, the texts that you shouldn't be doing, the phone calls, and then that mental touching turns to physical touching, which now you're consuming it. You know, you're physically consuming the person in some way. You're sexually consuming, and that leads to a breakup, divorce, etc., which can lead to your committed, your other, well, was formerly committed, your main relationship now being consumed, as it pertains to disintegration now, consuming the wrong way now. So, you know, so be careful when the touching can lead to consuming, because certain things you touch and you consume, it's going to either bring positive benefit to you or negative benefit to you. But typically, before you consume it, somehow you touch it. And it takes discernment to know what will give positive benefit, what will give negative benefit. But humans just have too much curiosity, you know, and we just want to touch, and so eventually we consume our time, we consume money, we're consuming so much of ourselves into that thing, which often, in many things, are not good for us to be consumed with. But it all starts with touching in some way. All right, y'all. God bless you. That's my insights on why God doesn't, why knowledge is not always right to get at a certain season of life, but it's better for a future time to get certain knowledge, or when you're more spiritually, emotionally stable to be able to handle that knowledge. All right, y'all. Be blessed. I love you. God bless.